The night before our wedding, my fiancée's bridesmaid accidentally added me to their group chat, where she wrote, "Don't worry. I'll still sneak away with my ex before the honeymoon." I just read in silence. The next morning, she found out why no groom showed up. Alistair, 33, a specialized robotics engineer, had been with Lorelli, 29, a public relations coordinator, for 5 years. We lived in Seattle, Washington. It was a city I loved, but the cost of living was a relentless drain on our finances. Our combined income was high, but Lorelli's spending was impulsive. I made about $185,000, and Lorelli made about $90,000. We owned a small condominium near Capitol Hill. Our lifestyle revolved around trendy bars, expensive ski trips, and constant upgrades to the condo's aesthetic. We liked high-end, experimental restaurants like Canlis. Our social circle was large, mostly consisting of Lorelli's glamorous, image-conscious friends. They constantly reinforced her belief that showing off was more important than saving up. I felt like the workhorse, funding a life built on superficial appearance. I wanted to build equity and secure a future where I could pursue pure research. Lorelli wanted the appearance of success now. My career was excellent, but I felt intellectually constrained. My current company was focused on small-scale industrial automation. I was ready for a jump into large-scale, international systems design. I wanted to apply my skills to global complex problems like automated logistics or large-scale infrastructure. I was interviewing quietly for high-stakes, executive-level engineering roles. Lorelli saw my work as merely complicated and boring. She often referred to my projects as metal box stacking. She valued my income, but not my intellect. The opportunity that came through was a career zenith. It was with a massive, multinational technology firm. They were launching a new division, focused on automated global transport systems. The role was Chief Robotics Architect for the APAC region. The location was Sydney, Australia. This was a huge global move, a leap into the top tier of my industry. The compensation package was enormous. The base salary was $420,000 annually, paid in Australian dollars but pegged to that US value. The benefits included a full relocation package, immediate enrollment in a robust, specialized retirement fund, and a guaranteed annual bonus of 25%. It was the kind of offer that secured a lifetime of financial security. I decided to present the offer to Lorelli over an expensive dinner. We were at a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city. I was incredibly proud. I thought the sheer prestige of the chief architect title would appeal to her status-conscious nature. "Lorelli, I did it. I got the offer. It's the one I've been chasing. It's life-altering," I said, handing her the formal offer letter. She set down her wine glass. She looked mildly annoyed that I interrupted her story about a recent social event. "Is it an actual executive title this time, Alistair, or are you just managing more wires?" she asked. "It is. Chief Robotics Architect for the APAC region. The firm is one of the top 10 in the world. The location is Sydney." She scanned the salary figure quickly. Her pause was not a sign of reflection. It was an inventory check, $420,000. "That's a lot, Alistair, I'll give you that." "We could finally buy that house in Ballard," she said. "No, we couldn't. We are moving to Sydney. This is a global position. We could be financially independent in 10 years. The prestige is massive." "Sydney? Are you serious? That's like 20 hours of flight time. My entire bridal party is here. My clients are here. My entire social life is here. I have a whole life built in this city. You expect me to throw it all away for, what, a massive time difference and some high-tech boats?" She scoffed. "They have mountains, culture, and a global engineering community. This is the top of my field. You can work remotely, or you can find new, international clients. This is our future. Remote work from Australia. My brand is based on my local network. You expect me to ditch my community and my life for a title. You're such a typical engineer. You only see data. You don't see the fabulous life we already have. Just say no, Alistair. This is ridiculous." She tossed the letter back. Her dismissal was laced with the familiar contempt. She implied my ambition was a sign of my social inadequacy. I felt a cold knot form in my gut. Her complete lack of support was the clearest signal I needed. She only valued me as long as I fit her current, comfortable, and financially dependent picture of our life. Update 1. I did not say no. I accepted the offer the next day. I finalized the contract details immediately. I sent back the signed documents and secured the massive relocation package. My commitment was to myself and my professional potential. I would not allow her complacency and judgment to derail my future. The silent operation began that very evening. The weeks that followed were filled with suppressed conflict. I tried several times to restart the discussion about the move, hoping she might come around. The company is paying for a scouting trip to Sydney. We should go together. It's beautiful, I suggested one morning. Absolutely not, Alistair. I am not wasting my vacation looking at ridiculous bridges and engineering firms. We are not moving. End of discussion. Stop being a broken record, she replied quickly. This is a massive professional achievement, Lorelei. I want you to be proud. I'm proud of you when you are here, writing my checks. I'm not proud of you running off to be a robot puppet in Australia. Stop being dramatic. We have a wedding to plan. She repeated the dismissive lines often. They were designed to minimize my success and reinforce her control. Her friends quickly adopted the narrative. We were at a dinner party. Rise, a mutual friend and Lorelei's long-time confidant, approached me. So, Alistair, I hear you're still talking about ditching the Pacific Northwest for a high-tech job in the Southern Hemisphere. What's the point? Rez asked, swirling his drink. It's a huge promotion, Rez. Chief architect. It's a career zenith. I explained calmly. Career zenith. You already have the perfect life here. Lorelei is right. You're trading a real, fun life for a title and more hours. Nobody thinks you should go. You should listen to your woman. She knows what is best for your shared life. My shared life is about to become a life of immense wealth and purpose. That's better than endless social climbing and debt, I replied. I excused myself. Their unified front only strengthened my resolve. They were all dependent on the same shallow, expensive life. I realized I was planning an escape, not just a move. My preparations became meticulous and silent. First, I secured my finances. I opened a new private wealth account at an international bank. Lorelei had no access to this institution. I changed my direct deposit information. A significant portion of my check was now rerouted to the new international account. I left a decent, but stable, amount flowing into our shared accounts. I knew her spending was high. She would not notice the difference. I created a precise spreadsheet detailing all shared assets and liabilities. The only significant joint asset was the equity in the condominium, which was minimal due to the high mortgage. I planned to liquidate that quickly and split the proceeds evenly. Next, I focused on the move. I spent my weekends secretly researching apartments in Sydney. I found a fantastic, modern apartment in the Barangaroo district. It was close to my future office and had superb harbor views. I secured a long-term lease entirely in my name. The company's relocation team handled all the paperwork. I used my vacation days for a quick, final trip to Sydney. I finalized the lease and handled logistics. Lorelei thought I was on a mandatory compliance seminar in San Jose. I started sorting through my belongings. My technical books, my specialized lab equipment, and all my personal documents were boxed up. I used a highly discreet international shipping service. I told Lorelei I was sending old computer parts to a buyer overseas. She barely glanced at the boxes. She was too busy curating her perfect wedding details. I accepted the 25% bonus structure. I began liquidating small, personal investments. I converted the funds into Australian dollars. I was creating a robust, personal financial shield. I had my documents translated and notarized. I secured a new international driver's license. Every small detail was a step toward total independence. My focus at work became absolute. I needed to finish my projects flawlessly. I wanted the highest recommendation from my current firm. My boss was sad to see me go but gave me a glowing reference. I timed my departure perfectly. I would be leaving for Sydney immediately after the wedding day. I had already booked a separate, non-refundable flight. The night before the wedding, I was packing my final small bag. I had all my documents ready. My phone suddenly buzzed. It was a group chat notification. The title was something like Lorelei's Last Night. Her maid of honor, Chloe, had accidentally added me to the group chat instead of a different Alistair. I watched in stunned silence as the messages poured in. They were discussing the logistics of the next day. Then, Lorelei herself sent a message. It was a short, devastating text that confirmed every suspicion I ever had. Lorelei, don't worry about the drama with Alistair. I'll still sneak away with my ex, Damien, before the honeymoon flight leaves.
Chloe OMG still. You're insane.
Lorelei, of course. Damien is who I really want. Alistair is just the financial upgrade, and I'm keeping the condo. I read the messages in complete silence. The betrayal was absolute, cold, and calculated. It wasn't just physical, it was financial and total. She was using me for stability while planning to continue her true relationship. I closed the chat. I did not reply. I deleted my accounts immediately, one by one. I would not be her financial upgrade. The next morning, she woke up to a reality she never saw coming. She thought she was clever, planning her escape. She was about to find out why no groom showed up to the wedding. Update 2. Lorelei's morning was chaos. I was nowhere to be found. I had left the condominium before dawn, taking my final bag and my signed separation papers. I was in a hotel 20 miles away, waiting for my midday flight. I had sent a short, professional text to her parents stating that the wedding was canceled due to a serious breach of trust. I did not elaborate. When she finally contacted my lawyer, the truth began to hit her. I was gone. I had already left the country. All my assets were secure. The separation papers stated that I was taking the chief robotics architect position in Sydney. My lawyer was instructed to handle the sale of the condominium. Immediately, with the proceeds to be split after the mortgage was paid, her immediate reaction was a furious explosion of anger. She sent me aggressive, all-caps emails.
You coward! You ruined my wedding!
This is unforgivable! You will pay for this, Alistair, she wrote.
You're pathetic!
You are trying to sabotage my life for a stupid job. Come back and face me. Another read. I allowed my lawyer to reply once, explaining that my decision was based on her explicit betrayal and her public disregard for my future. The lawyer added that all further communication must go through his office. Then came desperate bargaining. She shifted to long, rambling texts. She promised to stop seeing her ex. She offered to fly to Sydney immediately. She swore she would be a supportive wife. I ignored them all. This was followed by a period of public, performative depression. I heard through mutual friends that she was posting cryptic, heartbroken messages online. She claimed I was mentally unstable and had abandoned her in the wedding for a low-level, temporary job. She sought massive sympathy. Finally, the spike of pure anger returned. She hired a lawyer. She threatened asset claims. She threatened to claim the entire equity of the condo, citing emotional damage. My lawyer, preemptively armed with my financial documentation, quickly established that all my new assets were acquired post-separation. Her claim to the condo was limited to half the minimal equity. The legal threats faded quickly. There was nothing for her to claim. My moving day was completely absent of conflict. I was already working in Sydney. Lorelei was reportedly staying with her bridesmaid, Chloe. I felt a profound sense of closure and relief. It was the calm of a life salvaged. My new life in Sydney was incredibly dynamic. The city was beautiful, clean, and fiercely ambitious. My job as chief robotics architect was challenging beyond measure. I led a large, elite team focused on global logistics. I felt respected, needed, and validated. I started thriving immediately. I joined a sailing club and began exploring the beautiful Sydney harbor. I made professional friends who respected my intellect. My work success was immense. Within 8 months, my team developed 3 critical patents. I exceeded every research and implementation milestone. I received the massive 25% annual bonus. It was for $105,000. I used the funds to make an all-cash purchase of a superb, high-rise flat in the North Sydney area. It was a complete, undeniable victory. The lies Lorelei had been spreading back home began to crumble. She was telling everyone that I took a meaningless, low-paying tech job. She claimed I was just a sad expat making barely enough to cover my rent. Alistair, what is going on? Lorelei is saying you're teaching basic computer classes. She says you're miserable. A distant relative texted. She told us you're just working as a temporary consultant in a humid office. A mutual friend added. I ignored most of them. I was polite only to her parents, who seemed genuinely confused about the whole event. Alistair, is it true you're struggling? Can we send you some help? Lorelei's father asked on the phone. I'm doing very well, sir. I'm the chief robotics architect. My salary is over $420,000. I am not struggling. I am thriving. I decided to stop the lies permanently. I made a formal post on LinkedIn. The post was simple. I celebrated the success of my team's recent patent filings and the launch of our new global system. I included a picture of myself standing in front of the firm's international headquarters. My chief robotics architect for the APAX region title was front and center. The sheer scale of my success, my salary, and the prestige of the firm were now public. The reaction was explosive. My old professional network was incredibly impressed. Her social network was stunned. The flood of emails and texts began immediately. Chief Architect. Alistair, Lorelli told us you were basically unemployed. I'm so sorry we believed her, an old colleague wrote. I apologize, Alistair. We all believed her. She painted you as a selfish failure who ran away. You look incredible. Ruz texted sheepishly. Her family also reached out. They acknowledged that Lorelli's version of events was completely false. They validated my decision. 3 months after the LinkedIn post, she showed up in person. I was leaving the office. A taxi pulled up to the curb. Lorelli stepped out. She looked glamorous, but the desperation was clear on her face. Alistair, I flew all this way. I had to see you. Chief Architect, I had no idea. The apartment is spectacular, she said, rushing toward me. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You actively chose to believe I was a failure to justify your betrayal, I replied. I maintained a clear, professional distance. I've changed, Alistair. I saw my mistake. I'm ready to move in. I'll start a new PR firm here. I want this life with you. We can still get married. You want this life. You don't want me. Do you remember what you wrote in the group chat? That you would sneak away with your ex, Damien. Do you remember calling me the financial upgrade? You posted about your heartbroken victimhood all over social media. That was the real you, Lorelli. I was scared, Alistair. I was reacting. I swear, I'm a different person now. I value what you built. You value what I built because it is now successful and undeniably prestigious. Your character has not changed, only the size of my paycheck has. The answer is no. You are not moving in. The engagement is terminated. I rejected her firmly. I walked past her. She escalated immediately. Her lawyer sent multiple letters demanding a share of my Sydney property. She claimed community property laws should apply. She demanded a stake in my stock options in my retirement fund. All claims were shut down logically by my lawyer. He used the documentation of my separate accounts and the post-separation acquisition dates. Her legal action was quickly dismissed. Her final, desperate move was a social media campaign. She posted long, emotional stories on Instagram. She accused me of financial abuse and abandonment. The campaign completely backfired. Mutual friends, having seen the truth, called her out publicly for her lies and her betrayal. Even her maid of honor, Chloe, distanced herself. 1 year later, I was thriving fully. My career was at an all-time high. I had purchased a small investment property in Brisbane. My salary was now over $550,000 with bonuses. I was in a stable, respectful relationship with Eliza, a brilliant aerospace engineer. Our relationship was based on shared ambition and mutual respect. I received one final, short message from Lorelli. It was a direct message on an older platform. You won, Alistair. I truly regret treating you like I did. I am sorry. To my reply was polite but short. It was the only thing required for closure. I accept your apology, Lorelli. I wish you well. Final update. I was back in the United States for a brief, required management summit in Los Angeles. My profile was now very high. I received an unexpected text from Lorelli's mother, Mrs. Thorne. She asked if I could meet her and Lorelli's father, Mr. Thorne, for a quick conversation. I agreed to meet them at a quiet restaurant. I respected them greatly. They were already seated when I arrived. They looked visibly older and ashamed. They immediately addressed the situation. Alistair, we wanted to see you. We needed to apologize. Not just for her, but for us, Mr. Thorne said, his voice low and serious. Sir, you don't have to apologize. I've found peace. I'm happy. I replied. We do. We raised her to prioritize external validation and money over integrity. We taught her that the appearance of a good life was more important than the substance of a good man. Mrs. Thorne explained, her voice soft with regret. We encouraged her to be dismissive of anything that wasn't immediately glamorous. You were building something immense, Alistair, and she destroyed it because she was too shallow to understand. Mr. Thorne nodded. She lost everything because she was arrogant and unfaithful. She chose a cheap affair over a world-class partnership. We just wanted you to know that we finally understand. You are an exceptional young man. We are sorry we didn't treat you like one. Their apology was sincere and heavy with genuine sorrow. It was the final validation of my entire journey. It confirmed that the values I was ridiculed for, my drive, my intellect, my commitment to real purpose, were the correct ones. I accepted their apology gracefully. I told them I held no bitterness. I wished them the best for Lorelli's future. I walked away from the meeting feeling a deep, quiet sense of certainty. My life now is a testament to the core lesson of this entire experience. Never tolerate contempt from someone you plan to marry. Lorelli's betrayal and mockery were rooted in her own narcissism. She saw me as a means to an end. She tried to keep me small through ridicule and planned infidelity. I learned that the only way to win this kind of battle is through quiet, undeniable, concrete action. I did not waste my energy fighting her emotionally. I did not try to convince her. I simply built a life so grand, so professionally significant, that her realization of her error was the ultimate consequence of my success, not an aim of my revenge. My tone remains rational and steady because I know the truth. I did not rage. I did not scheme. I simply focused my energy on my own potential. I found a partner, Eliza, who shares my values and respects my drive. We are committed to a future of shared ambition and mutual respect. My career is booming. I am happy. I am secure. I am fulfilled. I built this life. I earned this life.